We're on our second street food from around the world series, and this time we're making a Turkmenistan Gutap. It's a filled flatbread. So today we're doing a mushroom-filled flatbread. First step here is going to be to chop up these mushrooms for the filling. We're going to get these in a bowl, mix them, or in a colander, mix them with salt. And we're going to let them sit for 30 minutes as that salt helps draw out the water and therefore drying our mushrooms. Now we're going to mix this with our salt first. Put it in the bowl first. We're going to give this a toss, try to get salt all over the place there. And then add this to our colander like this, and we're going to let it sit for about 30 minutes like this, and the salt will help pull out some water. Now for our dough, we're going to drop in 250 grams of flour and about half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to give this a good mix. Now we've got 150 milliliters of water. We're just going to keep turning in here. And then we're going to, once this is all mixed in, we're going to go ahead and knead it. We're just going to knead it into a soft dough. Alright, we're going to try and pull this off into equal sized balls. And we're going to put them in here while they rise. We'll see how well this turns out. I don't have great consistency when it comes to baking. I'm really hoping we don't have to do too many bread products as we go through this series, because I'm just not great with baking, especially pastries. Alright, our 30 minutes are up. A bit of water got extracted. We're going to transfer the mushrooms back here. We're going to add in chopped onions, and then just going to give this a quick mix. And then we're going to go ahead and set this aside. We're going to take our dough balls and we're going to just make our lives a little bit easier. But we're going to flatten these out to about 5.5 inches. I don't have that measurement off the top of my head in centimeters, but I'm gonna say it's probably about palm length, like that. So we got that. Little sticky. So then our next step is we're gonna take a spoonful. That's not 5.5 inches. I wonder if it'd just be better to take a rolling pin, but I guess it wouldn't get circular. I'm learning everything here, right? Okay, so we're going to take a spoonful of our mixture and put it on the side there. And then what we want to do is we want to turn this over so we've got a half moon shape, if you want to call that a half moon. And then we're going to crimp the edges to try and keep it sealed. We're going to put this on a baking sheet, and we're just going to do that all the way through with all our dough. Alright, so these weren't the greatest. I did my best. We're going to go ahead and throw these in the oven for about 20 minutes or until they're golden brown at 480 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, we're at our 20-minute mark, and you know, not quite the color I think they need to be, but they're cooked, and I think any longer, and we're really just going to end up with something burnt. We're going to let these cool down a couple minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and try one and share some thoughts. Okay, these have cooled down enough, so we're going to go ahead and try them. Gotta say, right off the bat, they're really dry. As a run and go street food, probably this makes pretty good sense, but I think what I need to do is some flavoring for these. These could be really good. Also, they're kind of empanada shaped because I followed the recipe, but I know that that is not how they are presented when I look around online. They're more, it's a filled flatbread. So what I should have done is kind of like 2 pancake styles with the mixture in between, crimped the sides, and kept it as a full circle. I feel like that would have been maybe more correct to what I'm seeing. And so we tried it with this one right here. And what I actually did is I threw this in the air fryer in the hopes of catching up to the speed of it baking. And honestly, I think, yeah, actually, the air fryer resulted in this being a lot less dry, and it's keeping a lot, or it's definitely helping it more. Yeah, if I was going to follow this recipe exactly again, I would just air fry it or deep fry it. I was also, the instructions that for the recipe I found for Turkmenistan Gutap with mushroom filling, not like, it talks about frying and deep frying, but then the recipe only calls for you to throw it in the oven. So I'm honestly really confused about the instructions, and the picture for the recipe does not match what the instructions say. So I feel like maybe to do Turkmenistan justice is I need to do this again another time. So maybe I'll have a redemption episode later on. But in the meantime, I thought what better way to try this out than with some tzatziki sauce, because they're pretty close geographically speaking, same regional-ish area. So I thought maybe there's probably a certain point in time where someone in history used made a gutap and had tzatziki sauce on hand. And that's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good combo. Tzatziki sauce with these mushroom-filled gutaps. Amazing. All right. All in all, this episode is definitely getting a redemption episode later on. I'm going to find a better recipe, and I'll be back.